Welcome back again. So now my friends, after creating the schema, we're gonna go back now to our source folder, then the app, then we're gonna go back to our dashboard and then the seller right here folder. And right here, we're gonna create a layout. So I'm just gonna go and create a layout right here and then .ts6 this way. And then simply, I'm just gonna have RFC right here. And let's call this seller and then dashboard layout. Okay, like this. And let me remove this one from here. It's gonna take children. Okay. Are the pages that are going to exist inside of here. So simply what we need now to specify is the type of children. So we can say the children are type of React node. So simply you can import React node directly or import it from React. So React node is right here. We can import it directly. And all we need to do is just simply in return right here, we need to return the children. But I want to do something very important right here, which is block non-sellers from accessing the global seller dashboard. Okay, so I just can go right here from accessing just the seller dashboard. So we're not going to allow the users who are not sellers to access this dashboard. And this is good. This is the reason I'm doing this in the layouts, because layouts is going to refresh on every page. So whenever anyone open any single page, we're always verifying. Okay, so yeah, even though we have verification added, but I make sure that I add it again because this is important for security. So we can go const user and then await, and then we can get the current user like this. Let's make sure this is await right here, current user, and we're going to make sure that this function is asynchronous as usual. And then simply all we need to do as usual, I'm just going to go if, and then we're going to check if the user dot, so the user, if we have it, dot private metadata. So private metadata, we can also check if there is no user. That's also a possibility, because not only we are checking for the role right here, but also for authentication. But authentication is already done by the middleware, so it's not mandatory to do it right here. It's going to be just repeating things. So we're just going to check if the role is different than the seller, and if not, just simply we're going to redirect you to the home page. So redirects and then directly to the home page, and redirects, make sure it's from Next navigation and not there. So Next navigation like this. So it is done now for the layout. Now we have to go to our page and actually work on there. So let me go back to the seller page. This was the seller dashboard page. So first of all, I want to get the seller, not the seller, I'm going to get the user and see if it's authenticated. And if not, we're going to redirect them. Well, it's not necessary because we can actually just go back to the middleware here and do it here. Okay, so we have done it for the dashboard right here, which is going to include the dashboard for the admin and the seller, but also you have the option to do it again right there. So because I don't know, I don't trust the middleware sometimes. I've seen it sometimes not working for some reason. I don't know why, maybe just my setup. But for me, all I'm gonna do is just let's add this. So I'm gonna add this comments right here and just simply fetch the current user. If the user is not authenticated, we redirect them back to the home page. So we can go const user again and then await and then current user. And we have done that. We're going to make sure the function is asynchronous, so you can use await, and simply if there is no user, we're just going to redirect and return, so we don't return anything in the page. So I'm going to get redirects from Next navigation. Very simple stuff. Now the reason I wanted to create this the store model first, because we need to get the stores, because in this page when someone accesses the seller dashboard, we're going to check for their stores, and we see if they don't have any stores, we're going to redirect them to a page that's going to allow them to create a new store. And if they have an existing store, which is simply going to redirect them to that store. So this is the whole idea. The seller accesses the seller dashboard. If they have a store there, simply we're just going to redirect them there. And if they don't have a store, we're going to redirect them to the page that's going to allow them to create one. So yeah, very simple. First of all, I want to actually get the list of stores associated with the authenticated user. So you can do that. This is right here directly, or you can create like a query for it. But it's very simple. So you can just simply do it right here. So you can go stores and then await and then DB. We're going to get that there. So all I'm going to do right here, let me add, this is for Next.js, and simply add this here. And this one, let me go under here. This one is going to be current, and this one is going to be clerk. And then under here, this one is going to be for DB like this. So to retrieve, we're going to go DB, and then simply now we have the access to store, and just simply find many. We're going to get all of them. So find many, and then simply all the ones where the user ID. So that's why also we need the user. So where the user ID of that store is simply the user we have .id like this. The user is the one that we have right here. And that's why we also get it here. And then we just simply check if we don't have it, because if you remove this, it's gonna make you as add optional chain, and I don't like that. You just have to make sure if there is a user, redirects me, return, so no further code executed after redirects, and it's probably not gonna happen anyway. but this is it. So we have the stores right here. Now we're gonna check, as I told you, we're gonna check if the user has no stores. We're just simply gonna redirect them to the create a new store page, and if they do, we're gonna redirect them to the first stores we encounter, so the first store. So I'm just gonna go right here. So if the user has no stores, redirect them to the page for creating a new store. So we're gonna check if these stores, and then dot length right here is equal to 0. That means they don't have any. What we need to do is just simply redirect, and then to what? / dashboard, and then / seller, and then / what? This page is gonna be inside source, and then the page is gonna be new. Okay, so dashboard, seller, source, new. This is the page that is going to be allowing them to create a new store. And also right here, we're just going to add return here. It's not mandatory, but for some reason, if redirect didn't work, we just simply return to not actually allow any further code to execute. So this is just as a precaution or something. Yeah. So now if the user has stores, so I'm just going to copy this one. So if the user has stores, redirect them to the dashboard of the first store. So simply, if they have a store, so this is not the actual situation, they have a store, all we need to do is just to redirect them to that first store. So we can go redirect directly from here and just go /. We're going to use backticks right now. So we're going to go forward, the same thing, dashboard, and then we're going to go seller, and then /, and then stores, and then / is going to be the first store we find. So stores, and then we're going to go to the first element, or you can make it random if you want to, but we're going to go .url because I want to access these stores by the URL. And this is just totally up to you. So like in your dashboard, you can access it by the ID or the URL. It's totally fine which one you use. The ID would be the easiest one. So if like you want in your dashboard to access a store, you access it by the ID, that would be actually the easiest. But if you have the URL, it's going to be more presentable. So you see like the exact name of the stores there, of the store there. So it's like nicer to the eye and better for accessibility. But it takes a little bit of step because whenever you want to get the store, you have to use that URL. Okay. But we had to make sure in the URL we make it unique. So we can actually find it using the find unique function in Prisma, okay, which is going to allow us to get the store right here by the URL. If you didn't have this unique right here, it's not going to allow you to use the function find unique because this URL is not a unique thing, okay. It's going to only allow you to use the ID, but because we have it unique, we can get it by the URL, and also we can get it by the email. So that's also something nice that we have done. And as you can see right now, we have done that. So now let's see what's going to happen if you go back to our application, and let me actually now try to access the seller dashboard, and let's see what's going to happen. So let's actually test this. So the first thing I want to do, I'm going to go to / dashboard. So by default, when we worked on the dashboard page, by default, what it does, it checks if you are an admin or a seller. And if you are an admin, it redirects you to the admin page, which is not our case. But if you are a seller, this is our case, it's going to redirect me to / dashboard, then / seller. So now it's going to redirect me to the seller page. But when it does that, now we're going to run the code that we have right here and the test we had. That's a secondary test. The secondary test is just simply checking for the stores. If you have a store, simply that's cool. You're just going to redirect you to that store. If not, it's going to redirect you to the page when you can create a new one. So let's test this. So now I'm accessing just the dashboard, but because we created everything perfectly, so what's going to happen? It's going to redirect you to the seller, then it's going to redirect you to seller, the stores, the new. So as you can see right now, this is the page which you're gonna create your store with, but as you can see right here, this page could not be found. So let's create it just to make sure, just to show you that it works. So what I'm gonna do inside the seller, I'm just gonna have another page which is stores, and then yeah, you can have the page for stores right here like this. We work on that later. So seller stores page. And let me remove the import from right here. And then inside of the stores, we're going to create a new folder that is called new for the page, and then page.tsx, and then RFC again, remove the import, and let's call this seller, and then new store page. Okay, and we can have a text right here that says, for example, create new store here. Okay, and then in the class name right here, let's make this text for Excel, and let's make font bold. And let's save and go back and see. This is the actual page. As you can see, create new store here. So everything is working very nice. We've done this structure, but we're still not done yet because yeah, we have done that. But you can understand that whenever we work on this seller, it's going to be always inside a certain store, because we're not going to allow to access the dashboard without having a store. If you don't, you're going to go and create one. But if you have one, we're going to redirect you to that actual page of that store. So everything is going going to be always working inside like a certain store and not outside of it, not like the admin. The admin has access to everything, but the seller always have to work inside the store. That's their only access. They can create a store, okay, that's the page they can access, and then after that they just have to choose one of the stores using the switcher, and then inside the store they can create their products, etc., and do everything they want there. So this is just the base. So this is the second video about this. Then the next video we're actually going to work on the layout the same way we've done with the admin, and it's going to be pretty easy, creating the sidebar, the logic behind it, the navigation, etc. So let's get into it.